And he says, I felt like if I couldn't handle not being good at something, then how could I ever consider myself a successful person? And that line right there is what made me just fall in love with this story. I mean, just think about it. This is a young man, a high schooler, who's thinking, I felt like if I couldn't handle not being good at something, then how could I consider myself a successful person? And that is just the most awesome thing I've ever heard coming from a young person as far as what they should think about failure, about not being able to do something, about losing. And it's funny, I saw this article because not too long before this, I was sitting with my 8-year-old son, and we were talking one day, and somehow the topic of Pokemon came up. And my son's saying, yeah, I don't understand why they don't let us play Pokemon at school anymore. And I said, well, I can tell you why. I said, because kids are too emotional. And he's like, what do you mean? What do you mean by emotional? I said, they're too emotional. They get emotional about things. He said, you mean like they get upset and angry? I said, exactly, because from my understanding of Pokemon, he's tried to show me how to play. I don't quite get it. But from my understanding, when you're playing this Pokemon game, if you have a certain Pokemon with so much power or whatever, you can take another person's Pokemon card in that particular battle, and then you have it. Well, what was happening, and the reason I know, is because it was happening with the middle school kids at school I work at. When they would lose these cards, they would get upset, they would get mad, they would cry, and they didn't understand losing. But if you're going to step into the field of competition, you've got to be able to lose. And that's what I told my son. I said, in today's world, we don't teach people how to lose anymore. And we teach people that they should never lose, when losing is a part of life. And a part of that is not being good at something. Generally, when you lose at something, it's because you're not very good. So you have a choice. You can either run and cry, or you can keep working, keep practicing, and get better. But just having the attitude of saying that even if I'm not good at something, that's okay, because I was willing to step into the arena and give it a shot, was just remarkable.